My distinguished guest, Mr. Yitzhak Herzog, the President of Israel, and his wife Michal. Distinguished guests, one and all, but headed by my brethren, my brothers and sisters in the family of the bereaved in Israel. My wife Sarah and I embrace each and every one of you, just as we have embraced the families of the hostages, those who have returned home and those who we will yet return home. We are committed to bring them all home until the very, very last. Since the start of the war 2 years ago on Simchat Torah, the Feast of Tabernacles, we pray and think every day for those who fell, the heroes, heroines. I know how great your pain is, your loss is, and I know how within one fell swoop your life changed. I know that moment well when suddenly we find out how our lives before were happy. And I would like to recognize on the behalf of all our people that our lives are safe only thanks to their sacrifice. Ofra Samiach, the mother of a fighter from the General Forces, she said her son is not just a space or someone who has died, but my son, she said, is the foundation stone, the cornerstone that we are building our country on. And how true that is. Our wondrous sons and daughters who sacrificed, who gave their lives during the war, they are truly the foundations, the cornerstones of the state of Israel. Muslims, Druze, Jews, Cherkessim, Christians, and from other ethnic communities as well. They acted shoulder to shoulder in order to achieve all the objectives of the war. And yes, indeed, we will achieve all the objectives of that war. Their memory will be engraved within our souls for generations to come, for the sake of posterity. Just 2 years ago, we understood what it means, a genocide. And I'm not talking about fictitious one, that they are now sort of casting aspersions against us with this wave of anti-Semitism who all are shouting towards us. But on the 7th of October, there was a monstrous, yes, a truly monstrous, cruel murder of babies, children, elderly people. And I am telling you now from this podium, if those murderers had been able to do that, they would have massacred every single one of us. That is a real genocide. And that encounter with it, with this kind of abysmal barbarism and murder, is what is so amazing when you think about it, that it immediately clenched us all together and united us. And we understood very, very quickly, we understood what the plot is in Iran and what their proxies want. They wanted to strangle the state of Israel in some kind of fiery strangulation method. But our enemies, they didn't take into account one thing, the strength that is truly embedded within us. We stood on our hind feet as one, and with mental fortitude that we managed to raise within us, and with an incompromisable attack on 7 arenas, we moved the actual focus of the war into another area, and we hit them. The people of Israel is a rising lion, and that is how it rose. And yes, Mr. President, you said that the struggle is not over. But one thing is clear to us today is that anyone who raises its hand against us knows full well that they will pay a very, very heavy price. We are determined to complete and conclude that victory that will impact our lives for many years ahead. And yes, there is an even greater truth. Israel is on the front line of that meeting between civilization and barbarism, the cruelty that has no end towards humanity. And this is all embracing. And basically, there is just one question. Will we go back in time to the days of the Middle Ages when things were so dark, or will we look forward to flourishing, burgeoning, and light? We are the dam that stops that flow into this kind of barbarism, and we are the border, the boundary between their kind of darkness and ours. We have seen all they did so with such courage, the soldiers. If we're talking below ground and above ground, and they were fighting in very original ways that surprised the world. It was their vocation, their love, their belief in the justice of our path, the determination. That is how our fighters fought. And yes, it is the generation of victory that knew what they were fighting for. It was an upheaval. And that valley of tears of the 7th of October, we reached Tehran and the Hermon mountain. And yes, and the hostage families, we watched as they were reunited with the hostages. If we're talking about the ground forces, the air forces, the Navy, they are all worthy of all appreciation, and the stories of their heroism will yet be told. But I would like to mention here an additional force that joined them during this war. And that is those who paved the way. Those with the buggers and the D9s and the bulldozers who were totally exposed to fire, but sacrificing themselves, they strived ahead, even if they did actually have to lose their lives doing so. We're talking about all those heavy metal and heavy material. They were so absorbed with that spirit, and that is the spirit in steel, and they strived ahead and paved the way. The memory of all our heroes and heroines is with us everywhere, at every moment. The new people, the locality that has been settled near Arad, Yonatan Steinberg, of blessed memory, Colonel Yonatan Steinberg, is named after him. And if you look at the Burma path from the days of the War of Independence, we're talking about Colonel Roy Levy. It was his idea. And there's also an additional venture in memory of another soldier who was killed, Atan Osner, who was actually killed in Lebanon. And he said it is a day for strengthening the why. Why are we here? Why are we fighting? And he believed in that venture. And for example, the laser stores, or Eitan, for example, is bearing the names of Eitan Osner, he was one of the developers of that system that has been able to intercept weapons. And I know how excited we all were to see the members of the fallen soldiers who talk of them and remind us all while flying the flags of those command units in the Mont Blanc, in France, and in Nepal near the Everest, and in other high elevated places. Yes, we're talking about in the cold, above the world, they are holding their flags, the flags with the photographs of their fallen friends. There is no one in this world who will bear the memory of their beloved to every corner of the universe and sing our anthem, the Tikva, and say Kaddish. I mean, no one has ever seen that. People are stunned by this. Dear families, my dear brothers and sisters, citizens of the State of Israel, many challenges are yet ahead of us. Yes, a fight against our enemies who want to rearm, many challenges, but alongside them, great opportunities, dramatic ones, to expand that circle of peace. We are acting on both these planes together simultaneously, and what is demanded of both of these is unity. Unity in the war and unity in the peace. We will achieve all our objectives, but only through internal cohesion, mutual guarantee, and the reinforcement of what we share rather than what divides us. Our beloved country, the State of Israel, is a strong, steadfast stone in the stormy seas. Our pioneer grandparents, they established a home here, incepted a country, and we have to continue ensuring the existence of the chain of generations for our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and for the sake of future generations. We know full well that there is definitely no substitute for the people that you lost, dearly beloved, bereaved families. But simultaneously, we also know that it is thanks to that stamp that they left means that they have ensured that all of us will be part of the eternity of Israel. I would like to wish health in their souls, in their mental health, and in their bodies to all the wounded. And the love of Israel will accompany them on their journey to recovery. I have seen them many times. I saw them again in the rehabilitation ward a few days ago, and I was awestruck by people who are amputees with such steadfast, strong spirits. And they expressed it in 2 words. They said, for the sake of this state. In Hebrew, it is 2 words, for the sake of Israel. The 3 combatant children of the Levi family, Elkanah, Didia, and Levi, they can actually testify to that. They all three were wounded in the battlefield, but despite their serious wounds, their spirits remained strong. And after the very complex operations that they had to undergo, they said very strongly, and it has double meaning, together we will win. Together, yes, as a family, but together on a national level too. It is thanks to our heroes and heroines, our combatants, male and female, those who fell, those who are wounded, and thanks to your resilience and fortitude as a people. We will eradicate our enemies, and together we will ensure our future. May their memories be blessed and engrave them in the memory of this country ad infinitum.